How's everyone this afternoon? Good.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Spectacular.
Spectacular.
Pretty good. How about you?
I am wonderful. Now that I'm in the right meeting, I was alone there in the vast emptiness of the Zoom room with no one there. And I was like, well, I hope this isn't our attendance tonight. So luckily it was, it was not that. So, that being said, we'll move right along. And now that we have the attendance out there, you guys who are present, please fill that out. And then without any further ado, let me pull up my stuff so I can get us started here. I have the agenda as usual.
So it seems like I haven't joined yet, so I don't think I can fill that out quite yet.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, not for now. That's for the attendance for the SGA centers have been sworn in.
Gotcha.
If you would just do it at the end, that would work great.
Alrighty,
Were
guys.
you able to hear me? Here.
Okay, I think the agenda is up there. Let me. Right, never worse, right? I just noticed the background. That's nice. That is right, Cameron.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, had to take one from the office there. I'm not sure I know how to do the Jim smile. This is like I kind of got the post like 7th season Jim with the kind of short beard going on.
Alrighty, guys. We'll go ahead and get started. We have the survey out for the attendance. So if you guys haven't done that, you can do so. To start out, as always, is there anyone here for open forum? Anybody? Is there anyone here for speaker's podium? Now, Dean Batty, I see that you're with us this afternoon. Are you filling in for Josh in any way? Okay. I do not know. So we have alrighty. Well, seeing that there's none, I would like to ask, considering we're just right here on topic, is there anybody that you guys would like to hear from, an area that you want to hear more about, but you don't know who to talk to? Is there anybody you guys want to see in the next couple of weeks in the or the speakers podium? If you do, just that way we're not trying to speak over one another. If you could put that in like the chat, that'll help me. And or if you guys want to bring up someone or it comes up to something in the discussion later, then obviously we'll talk about that in new business. So moving forward, so on to officer reports. This week I have not been as busy as I have been. I'm finishing up my stuff for the UT System Student Advisory Council. I've been in the office a lot. It would be cool. My perception is I don't get to see as many people because we're not in person as much anymore. If you guys come by, I'll be up there. I'm always working on things. I'm always find myself sending the emails a lot. I have a lot of meetings coming up with a lot of different people. Most recently, I will be meeting with the executive vice chancellor. He'll be on campus to speak to students. We now have a new executive vice chancellor for the UT system. So he'll be effectively in the line of people who are leading the UT system. He is the one that all the university presidents report to. So he will be he's a new hire at the UT system, and he'll be working for students at that level. Other than that, I've just been updating rosters. I've spoken to a couple of students that are here today to be sworn in. So that is exciting. And other than that, that is what I've been up to. So moving on, I do not think that Vice President Cooper is with us this afternoon. So we'll move next to Secretary Stabenow.
All right, so this week, we've only been in the office one day, but I have been working on a whole lot of posts. As some of you guys know, this week is Mental Health Awareness Week, and the Counseling Center is doing fun stuff every day. Yesterday, they did a quiz on celebrities with mental health, and unfortunately, I did miss posting about that because I was at the doctor's office, and my doctor's office is in Allen, Texas. So I had to go home yesterday for that. So yesterday was a blank day on social media, except for reposting a couple of stories from other UT activities. And then today, I forget what they have going on today, but I have a post put together for it. And then tomorrow is another quiz that they're going to do, and they're doing them in like video type formats. So they're linked on their Instagram account, which is exciting. And then Friday, the Counseling Center is going to be in the UC giving out stress relief toys. So I have a post for that. That's super exciting. I think they're like the little bendy sticks. They're kind of like, I think they're just metal with foam around them, but they're pretty fun. They're pretty fun. And then the rest of my report is going to be in committee.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. So moving on to Treasurer Long.
All right, hi everybody. Okay, I had something and then it left my brain. Okay, so yes, okay. Jennifer mentioned that it was Mental Health Week. That's something that's very important to me. I actually worked, took my office hours at home this week to kind of prioritize my mental health, and it was really great. So if y'all ever have the chance to work from home and take time for yourself, definitely recommend doing that. It's been very hectic in my life personally for a few weeks now because I am working on the process of getting into grad school. Woohoo! Fingers crossed. Application is due tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. Today, I actually had a university committee. Me and Claire were both attended the University Union Fee Committee. I'm butchering the name. But basically we deal with the money that goes to the UC. It has Jenny Waters in it. It has Ashley Wilson, Chuck, all the people that run the UC and do all the programming for that. They're planning to meet once a month with us. University Center Advisory Committee, thank you. They had an acronym, student, I don't know what if it had union in it. I want to say it did. They had an acronym.
Yeah, it's the Student Union Advisory Committee. You had it.
Perfect. Thank you. It's been a really long day. Sorry about that, guys. But that was really interesting. It was really exciting seeing all of their hard work and all the things that they do for us students. Definitely, if y'all ever have a chance stop by and say thank you to them, or if y'all have any ideas on what you would like to see from the university, any changes, any programs, any kind of activities that y'all are interested in and would like to see from the university, please reach out to me or Claire, because they are asking us for those ideas and I want to hear from y'all. Also be asking other students, your constituents, so that we can bring some really good ideas to the table for our next meeting. In terms of treasurer things, me and my committee have created a SGAC follow-up form on Engage to fill out. So once we approve funding for a organization, we are going to now be having it a requirement for them to fill out a follow-up form. And basically the follow-up form is just going to be asking how successful their event was, how many people attended, if they wanted to change something, what would they change, how we as a committee can change and do better, if they had any issues and stuff like that. So that way we really getting some feedback on the process and if it's successful and if it's going well, which is really great and really exciting. And I'm really excited to see what everybody says. But yeah, I'll talk about everything else that went on this week in committee reports.
Awesome. Thank you, Cameron. And then Chief of, golly, how's it change every other week? It's like something new every week. Chief of Staff Ray.
Hey, how's it going? I don't have anything to present, so we're good to go.
All righty. So moving on, student life would typically be reported by Hannah, and she's not present today. I have not received a report, so if something does come up, I'll email anything that she would have to say to you guys, and then any other information that might come out of the meeting. So we'll move on to Secretary Stabenow and Communications Committee.
So today my committee meeting was pretty short because my committee is just really, really good at doing their jobs. But the next resource that we're going to be highlighting is the One Stop Center. I don't know if that's the real name, but the One Stop, that's it. That's what we're doing. And coincidentally, I have one of the One Stop's best employees in my committee. So she is going to be helping get some information for one of my other senators, and they're going to just work on that together to get me all the information, and then we're going to make a post about the One Stop because I just think that's like an important resource to highlight. I know we've hit some like really serious topics lately on the resources to post, so I was hoping to do one that's like a little bit lighter, a little bit more perhaps universally, not just like maybe like more universally needed, not just like if you're having a problem kind of resource. So that'll be exciting. And then obviously just, chatting about any other things that we need to put on social media. I know Claire and I didn't talk about it today, but the event that she is helping the Studio Art and Art History Association put on, the Artist Talk, they just got their poster approved for that. Yeah, it's super cool. It is a super cool poster. They are really good at what they do over there. So I am going to be getting a file image of that poster, and we're going to be posting it to our Instagram because we did help them fund it. And yes, Claire said she's super excited about it, and so am I. It's going to be so much fun. You guys should all be there. And I just wanted to point out that if anybody knows of any events on campus, and this also goes for Cameron, if there's like activities that are happening on campus that we helped fund, I would love to be putting posters out about that. I would love to be helping these events, advertise, because sometimes they are smaller organizations or they just don't have a social media presence really. So I would love to be posting about all of the events that we're helping. Or like if you guys know, oh, hey, the women's soccer team is hosting this really cool event and they put a post on their Instagram, let's go put it on our story. If you guys send that to the SGA Instagram account, I would be more than happy to put those on the story, because obviously it's super important for everybody's events to be, you know, well attended and super fun. So that is all for committee today.
Awesome. Jennifer, it sounds like you had a busy week then. I also want to say, kind of in the lines of communications we brought up last week, if you guys haven't checked, I looked at mine. We talked about it some. My UT Tyler does look different now. And if you want to go look at it, it looks really cool and nice and updated. So whenever you guys have a little bit of time, you should go look at it. It's a nice change up. So moving on to SGAC.
SJC was really exciting this week. Like I already mentioned, we as a committee approved and finalized that follow-up form, which is going to be really great. We also had a hearing from an organization. The organization had already come to us previously, but we had to make some changes to get them approved within our guidelines, and they did get approved, and it's gonna be really awesome. And we're gonna be able to get them t-shirts and everything and snacks for their event, for their weekly meetings and all that good stuff. So I'm really excited to be able to help them. Really what we've been focusing on in our committee is that follow-up stuff. Since we just made the engage form, what I had been doing was assigning senators to each organization that had a hearing with us and having them do weekly follow-ups, making sure everything is going well when it comes to planning, if they need help advertising, which is a step that I can work with Secretary Savinoff, which I love that idea, and definitely reach out to you more often about getting their events out. And then also, once their event is over, seeing how it went and all that good stuff. I am excited. We had one of our organizations had their event that we funded this past week, and then we have the one that Secretary Savinoff and Senator Lamberti have been working on, along with SGAC with the Studio Art History organization. They are having a really, really important guest speaker event coming, which is so exciting, and that is on Friday if you all want to go to it. It's on Zoom, so super safe, super awesome. And then the other ones have their first meeting that we funded in 2 weeks, so we'll be following up with them next week and then after their meetings. And we're helping them design t-shirts, which is something really cool. But yeah, so that's basically it. Really, really just wanted to brag on my senators in my committee. They've been working really hard, and they have brilliant, brilliant ideas and dedication, and have been working really hard with the organizations coming to us to make sure that they're getting the help they need. And I think we've been doing a really good job, not to be bragging or anything, but I think we've been doing a really good job of making sure we're accessible and helpful to organizations that come out to us. And so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cameron. And then lastly is rules.
We're good to go.
Alrighty. So moving on to student voice reports. This week it is the College of Education and Psychology and the College of Nursing and Health Sciences. To start off with education and psychology, I do see Senator Williams is here, and I think also Senator Miller is here as well. So we can start out whichever one of you guys is ready to go. But if you can, Senator Williams.
So this week and past weeks, I've been talking with a lot of people. And the number one thing I've been hearing is that the students who are in education and psychology classes, they have to be moved into the business building just because the classes in the education psychology building are so small. They can't like fit everyone in there, but they're lacking the resources like smart boards for education majors, like the art supplies that we use, like we use crayons and color pencils and all that stuff. And so they really feel like it's lacking in their services, like in their education. And then the psychology students also feel the same way. Of course, they don't use like crayons and colored pencils and all of that, but they feel like that they're also not getting the support that they need. So then I went to the dean, talked to him about it, and he said that sadly there's nothing really that they can do because the rooms just cannot support the size of the classes. But I recommend maybe having office hours inside the like education and psychology building, inside the classrooms where they would normally be in. And he said that he would talk to professors about that.
Thank you, Senator Williams. And I think I would said Senator Miller.
Hi, hey. I've been in quarantine for the last week and a half, which means that I haven't been actually interacting with a lot of the students on campus. But in general, exactly what Macy Ann had to say, which was that kids didn't have the resources in their classes to actually be able to fully develop themselves. And so a lot of that's been being moved online from what I've seen from a lot of the professors. But in general, yeah, that's been kind of the big issue, is everyone getting moved over and it kind of reshuffling up the classes.
All right, and Senator Miller has all of the processes with being in quarantine on or off are you on or off campus, and has everything been going good? And if there are problems, what were those specifically?
So the main problem that I had was that when I was firstly on campus, and before I went to like quarantine towards my home, is that the food at University Pines never actually got here because, you know, supposedly we're supposed to be able to get like these little like food drops, and I called them and everything, but no one picked up. And also the hotline was down when I called it, but that was early in the morning, and so it might not have been, you know, running at that point. But apart from that, when I went down to the UC and everything, it's been pretty good. All the people there have been really nice and everything, and you know, it all got taken care of pretty effectively. I just apart from the food and the helpline, everything pretty much went exactly how it was supposed to go.
All right, and you didn't happen to know of anyone else who may have similar problems with that, did you?
No, so I didn't have anybody else come to me about the whole sickness thing. I've had some people who have been quarantined and they've had pretty positive effects and everything. So nothing really all that big other than the hotline being down sometimes.
All righty. Well, thank you for sharing that. And thank you guys. Thank you to the College of Education and Psychology Centers. We would move on to the College of Nursing and Health Sciences, but I might be missing something, but Senator Benitez is not here. So we'll move on, and I'll do similar with him. I'll reach out to him and give you guys a report of what he's seeing from the College of Nursing and Health Sciences, because he's not present today, and I'll attach that to whatever report Hannah gives us or gives me about student life and what she's been up to. That is fine with everyone. So be looking for that, please. Next week, I'd like to let you guys know that the student body at large senators will be asked to report, and as they are a larger constituency, a larger group of senators, we'll just go ahead and let them do that. They'll take up the entirety of the student voice report section next week. So you guys, please be ready for that. So moving on to old business. Is there anything that you guys would like to bring up? Alrighty, I'm not seeing any, so we will move on to new business. So first, as you guys can see on the agenda, we have a very important task to do today. We are going to be swearing in someone to a vacant College of Nursing and Health Sciences seat. So let me introduce Valerie McNamara. She is a freshman who is a nursing major, and she is here to be appointed to that open position. So Valerie, whenever you're ready, the virtual floor is yours.
Yeah, hi everyone. Like he said, I'm a freshman nursing major. I'm also in Zeta Tau Alpha and the wind ensemble here. So I think I'm like in all different kinds of organizations, and I thought that this would be really cool to join because I love seeing change, whether if it's on campus, off campus, anything. And I love being a part of that change. So I would love to be a part of this organization to see that change.
Alrighty, and as usual, guys, does anyone have any questions for Valerie? Come on, there's got to be one, guys. It could be anything. Do it.
What instrument do you play in the wind ensemble?
I play the flute.
Nice.
How do you enjoy playing the flute?
Can you say that again?
Do you enjoy playing the flute?
I love it. I've been playing for 8 years. I'm not like minoring or majoring in music or anything, so I'm just doing it for fun.
That's pretty cool.
Let's see, there's a question in the chat. What would I change on campus? So y'all were talking about the COVID situation earlier, and I just got out of isolation yesterday. And it was just a really frustrating process for me because I had to be the liaison between the housing department, the hotel I was staying at, and the COVID hotline because the communication just wasn't very good. And I think just overall, what I've experienced so far as a freshman, I think that communication in all organizations on campus can be improved, especially in like these unprecedented times that we have.
Awesome. Does anyone have any additional questions? Oh, yeah. Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, so how would I improve it? I'm assuming that you're talking about the COVID situation. And I think that just the problem that I had was the housing department and the COVID hotline. The communication between those two specifically just weren't good, and I was having to call back and forth. And honestly, I don't know behind the scenes how that works, so I can't specifically like say how to fix it. But if I got more information, I'm sure that a solution could be brought up about that.
Awesome. So are there any more questions before we move to the motion and voting? Alrighty, well, what we'll do is move you out of this room, Valerie, and then we'll have a short discussion, voting, and then we'll get you back in just a second. Boom, like magic. So with that, does anybody have anything else to add to the discussion? Good. Anybody have anything to add?
No one has anything to add. I'd like to motion the vote on appointing Valerie, is it McNamara, to the College of Nursing and Health and Sciences.
Second.
Second.
Okay, I think it was seconded. Okay, it was motion and seconded. So all sitting senators, I'll ask any guest or our two pro staff members who are present to select not a voting member. it'll help the process go faster. I'm not sure. I haven't ever seen your guys' side of it, so I am not sure how it looks. So if you could do that very quickly, there should be about 3 in non-voting members section. Alrighty, well, I think that concludes it. Awesome. So we will call her back in. Robert, how would you recommend doing the oath? Because it's just one person. You want to just recite the whole thing in its entirety, if it was normal, as if it was normal?
Yeah, I would just let her recite it herself.
Alrighty. Yeah, we can do that. That makes it easier. So, Valerie, sorry that was a little confusing, but congratulations, you have been voted and appointed to one of the vacant spots in the Nursing and Health Sciences College. So, congratulations. What we're going to do is pull up so Robert is now sharing it, and what I'll ask you to do is typically we're trying a couple things with this, and so we're trying to find the best thing. So if you can, please raise your right hand and then recite this oath right here, where it says enter your name. Obviously, enter your name, and then the office of, and it should say it there, but under here, College of Nursing and Health Sciences. That is right.
All right. I, Valerie McNamara, do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interests of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association while ardently executing the office of Senator for the College of Nursing and Health Sciences for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
Awesome. Yay. Cool beans. That's so cool. And so I'm the one who has to say the names a lot of the time. Is your last name pronounced McNamara, or does it have more A sounds?
It's McNamara. Like the MC is like MAC.
Oh, so I would have known that. McNamara. I got it. I'll try to remember it. If I forget it, everyone here will tell you I've never forgotten a name or pronounced them incorrectly. So I'm sorry if I do that. So moving right along, but congratulations and welcome. You're free to opt in any discussion, add any discussion bits as you wish. I was going to ask, actually, because the College of Nursing and Health Sciences was asked to report today, and you didn't get to speak in that, do you have anything before we move forward that you noticed College of Nursing and Health Sciences besides what you brought up in your appointment?
I got an email saying that there was a pre-nursing club starting. That is going to be tomorrow at 5:30. I plan to attend, although I have a class at 6, so I was just going to go for 30 minutes. But that's the only thing that I've heard about that, other than, the whole COVID hotline situation.
All right. Well, thank you. And so thank you for that. So moving on in new business, does anybody have anything to bring up, discussion items of the like?
I did just have one quick thing I wanted to tell y'all about. Since it's not our turn to report as COB senators. So we did have a meeting with our dean last week, and I won't get into too much detail. I'll save that for our turn. But I did want to let y'all know that went really well. There's a lot going on in the College of Business. Interim Dean Swimberjay was super helpful and even offered to put us on the newsletter that goes out to faculty and staff from the college, which would be really awesome. So, I just felt like that was a big thing that y'all might want to know.
Thank you, Casey. Does anybody have anything else to add to new business? Anything? Okay, well, I just want to add really quick, we do have a guest with us that maybe not everyone has noticed. Andy Petit, who is our Dean of Students, is here. I didn't know if you're available, Andy, but do you have anything that you want to share from the Dean of Students office that may be important for these senators to know? anything to comment on, anything like that?
Sure. I just first wanted to thank everyone for your leadership. I appreciated hearing the shout outs to the Counseling Center and the work that they're doing, and your work with the University Center Advisory Committee. All are really great things. Valerie, I'd be interested in hearing more offline about your experience with the isolation and the confusion there with communication, as well as to hear a little bit more about the food delivery issue that one of our other student leaders brought up about University Pines, so that we can follow up on those and make those better for other students as they may experience that in the future. I'm always welcome to meet with any of you at any time if there's anything that I can do to support you as students. And I just appreciate your leadership and hearing all of the great things that y'all are up to. It really helps me understand what our student experiences are, so we can continue to support you and do what's needed to help you out.
Thank you, Andy. And where could, if somebody's interested in getting in contact with you or learning a little bit more of what your office is doing, how can they get that? How can they learn more?
Certainly, you can either email me, and I'll throw my email in the chat, as well as my phone number. My office is in UC 3400, and you're welcome to pop in anytime. There's no gatekeeper. Just say you're there to meet with Andy, and if I'm there, I'd be happy to sit down and chat with you.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. And thank you for being here this afternoon. It's always great to see you and hear what it is that you're going to do. And this man is very helpful, and he knows very much about our campus and very much about, he has a hand in a lot of what's going on and how the times have changed. So if you need a fabulous resource on campus, he is one of the most fabulous resources you can go to find. So do that if you guys have any more questions. And sometimes if you just don't know where to start, this guy and Joshua Neves are a good place to start. So thank you, sir. Moving on, any more? Anybody have any more discussion for new business? Alrighty. If there is none, I wanted to entertain a motion to discuss our return to in-person meetings.
Motion to discuss the return to in-person meetings.
Motion seconded.
Alrighty. So technically in the motion process, typically the person who originally motions for it would start. But the reason I brought this up is just because I had a very brief discussion with our advisor just earlier today about what it could look like. He said he'd be very excited to see us back in person again. And I wanted to extend the discussion out to you guys and get opinions on it. And we do have the possibility to vote today if we'd like to, if that's the discussion you guys would, if that's a movement you would like to do. I'd like to hear what you guys are thinking, how many we think would attend, and if it would be useful to do it for you guys. So it's up for you guys to discuss if you have anything to say about it.
Yeah, I have something to add really quick. I just wanted to know if we would still be able to attend via Zoom, because I don't live in Tyler, and so that was one thing that allowed me to be a part of SGA this semester, because I only go to Tyler once a week. So moving back to in-person, I just want to know how that would work for people that don't live in Tyler.
So, oh yeah, Robert.
Yeah, so we've actually done Zoom on all the meetings in the past years, even when we were doing them in person. So there will definitely be a Zoom link.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Does anybody have any other thoughts or concerns about it? Give me a second, get a poll that would survey who would be able to come in person or people are able to attend via Zoom. Alrighty, so I see what you're saying. I think we could get a pull out, but I think the discussion could be geared towards whether we would do it. I mean, I'm willing to say I'll go sit in a room with, even if I just get, because some of you guys I've never met in person, much less may have something more to add that may be helpful. And it's not so much, obviously, if we get a future Houston Engineering Center or something like that, That's going to be a tougher one to make in person, and there's going to be those obvious constraints. But it's definitely up for you guys to decide. And the worst thing that we can do is only have 5 or 6 people if they're willing to do it. But David, you go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to. Do we have a room that we could socially distance in that we could use? Actually, never mind. I just realized we have the UC theater. I was going to say I would definitely appreciate being able to see everybody's bright and shining faces. I feel like we're typically more productive and we have more of a more of a back and forth, especially in terms of just in like conversation and the getting new actions done whenever we're meeting in person. Right now, because the campus doesn't seem to have very many cases or people quarantining, I feel like it would be beneficial to us. But also, if we have a lot of students who are still wanting to stay in their home, it would be hard to do half and half. So it would either be if everybody's on board or a good majority, I feel like would be. That's just my 2 cents.
Alrighty, so kind of in the direction of what Cameron's saying in the chat, by some form of using a thumb up emoji or turning your camera on and doing it, right now, who all can make it and take part in it in person once a week on Wednesday? Six, 8, 9. I think that's a thumb up. Casey has a thumb up. So it looks like about half. And so, all right. Thank you to whoever made this.
I was working. I just wasn't quite as fast as I needed to be.
No, thank you.
So just out of curiosity, what do you see right now? I know Josh probably, do you see the poll?
Yeah, I see it. I only see the little bars though.
Does everybody else see the poll going, or is it just post?
I saw the poll and was able to click more than one option and everything too. So it looked fine.
Okay. What about if I click share results? Does everybody see the results?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so there you go.
Alrighty. Well, I didn't see them, but it so it's really, I mean, after seeing that, it's really kind of up to you guys. Really, if you guys are thinking of it, thinking of deciding to move back to that, it really just depends on if you guys think it's feasible, because it looks like no matter what day it is, it'll be half and half. And so things to consider from my direction is like, if you guys think it's feasible, 15 people, let's say we have 15 people in the room and 15 people on Zoom, how feasible is that with talking over one another? And is it, if it's more complicated, worth the added benefits? And if not, and if you guys don't have anything more to add, then it's really up to you guys to decide what you guys want to do.
I think I'm torn because coming from, there's a lot of senators who are new, who don't even have the experience or knowledge of what an in-person meeting looks like. And in-person meetings are really pretty great. There's a reason why we kind of miss them. Not to say the Zoom calls aren't awesome and have been very, very helpful and everything. But an in-person meeting, you really just get a good chance to talk to people and be professional. It's just a great experience. I will say in the past, we've always done Zoom and our meeting, but the Zoom participants were always less quiet, less vocal. And so that's where I worry that maybe the people that don't have the option to move from online will get spoken over or not have as much opportunity to speak, or things might go past them, or might hesitate more to speak up than if they were in person. So while I love in-person meetings, and I think they're a great experience and we're very productive that way, I worry about disadvantaging, if that's a word, those that are not able to make it into in-person meetings.
I agree with Cameron. I also feel like because it's not absolutely necessary for us to be in person to be functional and to have these discussions, you know, maintaining an online meeting also allows for fluidity. If someone does test positive and have to quarantine, like they're not worrying about missing a meeting or making Zoom work or whatever, you know, it allows a constant so that no matter what your situation may be, you should be able to attend.
All right, Macy Ann, you said you had something to say?
Yes, so some of y'all might know I've been here the longest. I know I'm old, it's fine. But I've been secretary before, and I understand most people, how it's been in the past, or the Zoom participants are not very active. However, this is a brand new Senate, and I feel like that we do have a lot of participation considering the fact that we are online. So I maybe think that it could be a good idea to try out in person, and you can stay on Zoom if like you need to, like I get it. But maybe we could even like appoint someone to be like the Zoom person. That way the secretary can still take the minutes during the meeting, but there could be like a person who's like in charge of Zoom. That way they can manage like the raised hands, even though I couldn't figure out how to do it, but that's me. And like the chat bar, just so that it's a little bit easier and we can like bring that into the meeting better. That's just my opinion. Take it if you want.
I have something I'd like to say, if that's okay.
Yep. Okay, go ahead.
The people that are not on this, like when I've done Zoom, because I've joined a couple of SGA Zoom calls in the past, and a lot of the times I couldn't hear what about half the people were saying because like either the mic wasn't near them or whatever, and there's like that teleconferencing vibe where you're always missing what somebody's saying, but everyone else heard it. And so how will that be mitigated now? Like, will everybody that's in person also have their computer and just be using Zoom also in person with each other there? Because if you do that, then that way, you know, if you take your polls through Zoom and you do your, you know, those kinds of voting things through Zoom only, so that way, like even like the attendance, you know, the link goes out through Zoom, you click on it through Zoom, making the switch easier if you're not there, but also that way, like everybody has their mic right in front of them and you don't have to worry about if the people who aren't in the room can hear everything that's going on, if that makes sense. Because I think there definitely is value in face-to-face communication and being able to converse with people like before and after the meetings and stuff like that. But I don't want to, since a significant amount of people with an active role will be on Zoom, I wouldn't want them to be left out, I guess.
Yeah, no, to answer you, JT, I think the biggest thing to just consider if you guys are deciding on this is, I hadn't really thought of those, but I think to consider is that a risk you guys are willing to take to try it out? Is it worth trying out and finding out those technological difficulties and fixing them? Because if we do have a technological difficulty with it in person, it's going to be a problem we have in a year whenever we hopefully get to go back in person. So it may actually help that we get to try a very hybrid situation. That way, in a year or 2 years, people know how to deal with it, and we already have the equipment. I mean, we do have the ability to source equipment that will make it easier for those students. It's just whether or not you guys want to go in a direction of trying it, giving it a shot, don't want to try it, and then, or try it and let the e-board try to figure out some of those things, or all of us together. That's what I would challenge you guys to do. So does anybody have anything else?
I know we already had the poll, but would it be possible to redo it just without multiple choice? I don't know how many people voted both Zoom, in person, and either as their option. I did, and then I clicked submit, and then realized I was going to skew the results since technically all three were there. But I feel like having that info of who would be Zoom only, having a better idea of that ratio might help. Because I think Cameron and JT make good points.
Will you also add a guest option?
Yeah, so I was just running that one. That one wasn't anything official. I was just running it to try to gauge opinion so that the people operating and questioning and discussing could have an idea. If there's actual emotion, there will be all the appropriate answers. Do we want to do another just test poll? Is that what the request is? I can just rerun that one.
Just one that where it isn't multiple choice, or just where people only pick one of the options.
Hang on, I'm sorry. Keep in mind, I'll have to make it, so it will be 2 minutes maybe.
Should we go ahead and motion to officially vote on whether we would like to attempt coming back in person, or should we just kind of keep it hypothetical?
Right now, I'm of the opinion that considering the case numbers just went down, and were high about a week and a half ago, it might be smart to hold off on returning in person at least for another few weeks in the event that the case numbers come back up again now that we're having on-campus activities again. But that's just my personal opinion. I also feel like you and JT made good points about people who would be stuck doing it over Zoom would have harder time participating.
I just want to make clear my position. I'm not against having in person at all. I think that's great. I just want to make sure that whoever is on Zoom has like an equal access to the meeting, or like just their experience in the meeting is very similar, because I know like in some of the classes that my brother has, for example, they've been doing hybrid systems since the start of the semester, but the only person that has a microphone is the teacher. So if someone in, the in-person class asks a question, the people on Zoom can't hear the question, and that's not equal in my opinion. So those kinds of considerations, I just want to know how that's going to be handled before I'm like comfortable with allowing people to, be half and half, because I don't want one half to be underrepresented.
So it looks like 8 or Zoom and about 10 or in person or either option. That does one thing to count is my vote's not in there, as well as Jennifer and Josh are neither one represented by this.
So I think the best action to decide is something that to kind of address your guys' points about concerns of representation. That's something that we will, if given the chance to, we would take every opportunity to figure out how we can make it most accessible for everyone. And really what we're trying to do and what to be considered is what is the best format to do this effectively, and what are the opportunity costs of what we give up to do things. But really, I think it's just going to be on us to decide something, particularly probably in a vote of some kind. If you guys do kind of want to take the position towards going and meeting in person and working out the kinks and making sure students can attend in person if they so choose, give us some interaction. Kind of one thing to consider is that if we're student leaders on campus, show the ability to meet in person and hold an event on campus safely. I think that's exactly what a lot of the pro staff at our school want us to be able to do, and that's a good way to pioneer that opportunity. It's all up to you guys, and what I would say is thinking about that, and anytime you guys are ready to vote, I would entertain that as well.
I would say, I didn't, like I said, I didn't put my vote on there, but I'm kind of on the either side. My biggest concern, like I said, is listening to what some of y'all have said about the hybrid aspect, and there being problems for that. Also, changing mid-semester does make for challenges. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy in person, and I think on my end, I would say if we were going to switch to in person, I would want to do it at a semester change. So I would probably be inclined, just I've gotten in the program and the habit and the work, and I also know that I prefer the in-person. So I see a lot of blank screens, and you don't necessarily know whether that person's actually paying attention or not. So that does have some concern as well. So but it also lets some people who, I can relate. Yeah, there you go. So I can relate. Sometimes there's times where it's very handy to be able to work on homework during this meeting and still actually be able to listen in the background. So there's some advantages to both ends on my end.
So with that, I want to entertain a motion to either table this discussion or vote on what we want the student government to do.
I carry said motion.
Well, it wasn't an actual motion, so
what? My bad. Gotcha.
You can create your own, and then you guys go from there.
Motion to table. Motion to table discussion on.
Motion seconded.
Okay, so it was.
Do we need an official vote there, Josh?
Yes, we do.
Even though it was just motion to discuss it, it wasn't officially voted. So we just motion to discuss and then motion to table. We do still need a motion to table.
I would say so, just so it's all agreed that everyone's finished, and it shows that we all agreed to move on.
Okay, so here comes the.
Make sure there's an option on there to opt out if you're a guest.
Again, the motion is to table the discussion.
Yes.
I appreciate you mentioning that, Cameron. I need to change those to make sure they're single choice. I got the other one right, but this one didn't have correct.
All right, I think that concludes it. Is that good?
Yep.
All righty. Well, thank you guys, and thank you for discussing on it. Obviously, you guys are willing to bring that back up whenever it is necessary. You guys feel it to be so. So, moving on, does anybody have anything else they want to discuss in new business?
I do want to add on that one that I was glad to hear we were discussing that, but and also like do make sure as a SGA representative, we will eventually go back to in-person meetings, and those will be highly encouraged to be there in person. So just keep that in mind. Once this, if and when this passes, we will switch back eventually.
Awesome. Thank you, Robert. So seeing that there's nothing else to add to new business, we'll move on to advisor comments.
I think y'all mentioned a lot of good, y'all provided a lot of great feedback tonight. I do want to encourage, for not just the COVID response situation, anytime that, there is a potential concern that you feel that needs to be addressed right away, please reach out. It's something that if it's happening to one student, there's a chance it could be happening to other students, and we want to make sure that we resolve any type of issues as quickly as possible. And so Dean Petit, he is a fantastic resource. And I saw in the chat that he put his contact information. You're always more than welcome to reach out to him. A lot of departments have generic emails. Housing, housing at uttyler.edu. For our department, it's getconnected@uttyler.edu. And even if it's something that's not for our area, you can send it our way, and we will make sure it gets to the right office and gets resolved. And so make sure to share that with students. I know that there were several situations where it was talked about, personal experiences. And so it's good to hear that. But also I want to encourage y'all to make sure that you are trying to talk to neighbors, talk to classmates, your constituents, to make sure and to figure out what their experiences are like. And so that way we can try to help, make sure that students have the best experience possible. Congratulations on the new appointee. You are getting more and more close to filling the Senate, and which is a goal that I've always asked the e-board to strive for. And so I'm really proud of all of you for representing, your areas in a time that I think we need representation more than ever. And so to see a full Senate on the horizon makes me really happy and really excited. So if you know of other students who may be interested, tell them to reach out. Josh will do his best to see if we have any open seats. But it's not just about being a senator. Any student can be involved on committees within student government. They don't have to be a senator. And so there are ways to continue to get involved in the SGA committees, university-wide committees, or new committees that sometimes pop up from time to time. In regards to what I would consider the hot topic of conversation for this meeting about the meetings, it would be nice to see all of you in person. I do feel that y'all are more productive in person based after, seeing the past and seeing this. But I think it's also been a good experience for y'all to do this through Zoom. I think it's been not only to ensure safety, but it gives you a sense of what our distance campus students, senators, have experienced for the last several years. And so now that y'all have experienced it, now we can, JT brought up a lot of great points, and we've even had guests that have, brought it to our attention as well, that we've got to figure out how to make the communication aspect, the video feed, features work smoothly for those who do participate through Zoom. It is a great way to allow any student to participate and voice their concerns, or to hear about what you're discussing in case there is something that y'all are debating on. So it was good feedback to hear about the pros and cons. And so hopefully eBoard will continue those conversations at their meeting and determine the best course of action. I think there's several locations where we can have SGA, and so Souls, COB 180, 112, the second floor, I think 212. Those locations would be able to accommodate everybody in this group if everybody were to show up, and there would still be plenty of space in between. I think the challenges that we would have are the technology challenges, because those are the ones that we've experienced for the last several years. And of course, the theater. I think the theater technology is probably the best in there, and I know it works. And so the problem is just that senators typically like to set up their area, their space, to take notes, computer. And so we've got to find a location that is suitable for everyone, but also ensure that we're meeting all those safety guidelines. And so either option works. I know I talked to Josh briefly about it today, and I made a comment how I miss seeing y'all and seeing y'all have good conversations about what's going on campus. As we move forward, just continue to encourage students to, I know we're getting kind of comfortable again about the social distancing guidelines, wearing masks. Really encourage your peers to keep up the good work, because we want to keep that COVID number down as much as possible. I know Halloween is on the horizon, and we want to make sure that we can finish the semester strong. And so just encourage your peers to keep up the good work. And hopefully, like Robert said, we will get through this pretty soon. Other than that, y'all keep up the good work.
I was muted. I caught myself. So yeah, Peter, if you could text me really quick, and I can get you in contact with Josh for sure. Josh, just to give you, Peter, I don't know if I'll pronounce your last name correct, but Peter DeVry, I think is his last name. He is a guest from the Houston Engineering Center. And so he's going to get in contact with you to ask, and I think myself too, to ask more questions about that. But that's very cool in regards into the, and Peter, actually, if you don't mind just staying right after the Zoom call, I'll just keep you on, or text me if for some reason it misses up, if that's fine. Does that work?
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Sorry, I didn't mean to put those off, but I didn't want to keep anybody else here, especially if it's something that I can work out with you. So with that, if no one has anything else, I guess we will move to the adjournment. So.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion seconded.
All right, there was motion and seconded. Boom, magic poll. I'm assuming it was a very large proportion of yeses. I can't see it. There it is, magic. All righty, guys. Well, thank you very much. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Josh, Jennifer, I don't know how the Zoom is set up right now, but if you don't mind keeping it open just long enough so Peter could stay here and I could talk to